So those were our thoughts on the Black Widow podcast. And now we are going to be moving into the main segment for today's podcast. So again, there wasn't a lot that happened this week. And so we were kind of thinking about what would be something fun to do instead. And so because there are two people here, we've done this before, I believe, in the past, right? I think we did this once at some point. But we are going to be doing an MCU hero mock draft. And so the way this is going to work is I have laid out 28 MCU heroes from Iron Man 1 to Loki. So we're going from Iron Man 1 to the end of Loki, including, Black Widow, but not many new characters were in. I mean, I didn't include Yelena because I don't really know what she is yet, and she's kind of an anti-hero. But anyways, this is specifically going to be a hero draft. And so there are 28 characters here. And how this is going to work is CM and I are going to take turns picking characters and maybe talking a little bit about why we think we want the characters and all that sort of stuff. And at the end of the rounds, we're going to have 14 characters apiece. And basically, we are going to be picking the characters with the criteria in mind of we are trying to beat the other team in a physical fight. So like, think airport battle, except 14 characters each from across the MCU. Another stipulation that we had is that, so like, for example, we're going to have an Iron Man, right? Iron Man's on the board, but we have to specify which movie they're coming from. So we can't pick like, a Hulk, like if we want the Hulkbuster Iron Man, we have to pick Age of Ultron Iron Man, for example. And that, I mean, that way it allows us to go, like, we can have Captain America Sam Wilson, we can have Infinity War Thor, or Endgame Thor, I guess, if you really want Endgame Thor. Again, it's all about justification. Like, I could see, a way of arguing for Endgame Thor because he has literally 2 hammers. So, there are ways to argue around that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, though, this is just a fun thing for us to do, and it's a good way for you guys to interact with us in the comments. You guys can comment with us which team you think would win. If you want to follow along with the draft, I'll list the characters in just a moment. You guys can follow along as well. And yeah, it'll just be a fun thing for us to do this week. So let me really quickly read out the characters that we have here, and then we will get started with the draft. So we got Iron Man, and this is in no particular order, by the way. So we got Iron Man, Captain America, the Steve Rogers version, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, War Machine, Bucky Barnes, Falcon, Star-Lord, Gamora, Groot, Drax, Drax and Groot on the list, Rocket Raccoon, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Ant-Man, Wasp, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Mantis, Yondu, Valkyrie, Loki, Captain Marvel, and Monica Rambeau. So again, we're just going to take turns picking, kind of talking about our picks, and trying to beat the other team up and trying to create the best team. So with that, as the host, I decided to be gracious for once. And I'll hand it over to you, Mr. Monkey, and you have the first pick of the board. Go for it.
Why, thank you, kind host. Well, I don't think there's even a debate about which character to pick first. I'm going with the Crimson Avenger, the queen of the multiverse herself, according to Papa Lord Feige, the most powerful character in the MCU at the moment, Miss Wanda Maximoff.
Nah.
Thank you very much. She is mine.
Yeah, well, that would have been my pick too. Dang it. Okay. Well, that takes Wanda off the board, and so CM now has Wanda. And now I have these other lovely 27 characters, and obviously I think I would pick Mantis. No, I wouldn't pick Mantis. Let's see.
Mantis is the one kid that came into gym class late because she had a dentist appointment and now is forced to be the last pick.
Yeah, honestly. I'm going to pick... Oh, and so by the way, you're going to specify, right? So with each pick, you have to specify which project it's from. And I'm going to assume it's from WandaVision, right?
Yes, the series finale of WandaVision.
Okay, awesome. If you guys hear clicking, we're just typing out our things on a spreadsheet. So, okay, well, then in that case, very tempted to take a couple characters here because I think that there are a couple that are pretty up there. And again, I have to put my preferences aside for how much I like the characters in the actual movies. But in the end, I think I will be taking Captain Marvel. I think that Endgame Captain Marvel, as much as I hate her in that movie, her, like, Brie Larson's performance, I also think that she is just ridiculously overpowered as well. And it was only because of screenwriting and Endgame that she didn't rip Thanos in half, and also Scarlet Witch, because that would have been my pick as well. So I will be taking Endgame's Captain Marvel. That's my pick.
Solid choice. I think she's up there in power level, that's for sure.
All right. Next pick is yours, good sir.
Next pick is mine. All right. Well, back to WandaVision. During the series finale, when Agatha is explaining to Wanda how much power she really holds, she explains that Wanda has power that is even greater than that of my next pick, who is Sherlock Holmes. Just kidding. The Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, my guy. Benny Cumberbatch, I'm taking him. And I will be taking the Infinity War. Well, I guess Endgame.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah, some of the characters, like, they don't really change that much, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah. Well, okay. So, and also you kind of, I mean, we're gonna really invest ourselves in this. So, we also want to take into account things like chemistry and stuff. Like, for example, if you put Iron Man and Cap on the same team, it's like, how well is that really gonna work, kind of thing. And if you have like a Hulk on your team, maybe he's gonna like, kill everybody, or Loki's gonna betray everybody. So that's kind of going into my thought process as well.
That's a good thought. Well, so far my team is just the cast of Doctor Strange 2.
That's true. You got Team Magic over there, and it is looking very good. I will then be taking. I think there's a pretty clear fourth choice. I think these are like the top 4 characters on the board. I'm pretty sure. I think you know where I'm going with this. The God or the Lord of Thunder himself, as Jeff Goldblum crowned him. I will be taking Thor, and I will not only be taking Thor, I will be taking the Infinity War Thor, who enters into Wakanda just in a blaze of glory. So it looks like you got Team Magic over there, but I'm just gonna go for Team like Blue Lightning, Blue Power, like wizards from space kind of thing.
Actually, I'm gonna call you Team Sparkles.
Team Sparkles, there we go. So you can be Team Magic, I'll be Team Sparkles. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
And as we know from Endgame, Thor likes that one. So I think they'll work pretty well together. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Next pick gets a little bit trickier. I am going to go with a character who was literally designed to be the perfect, not soldier, but the perfect body. Have the most power. Be an android that ended up falling in love. Maybe we don't need power. Maybe we need more love. But either way, this character has a balance of both. So I'm picking Vision from... I guess he didn't technically exist in WandaVision. So we're picking the Infinity War version.
Are you sure, man? Because that one got killed. So I don't know about that one.
Yeah, actually, that is a good point. That's a good point. We'll take the Civil War Vision, who accidentally paralyzed Rhodey.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That means that I should probably be avoiding War Machine on this draft board then.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Man, are you sure you don't want the Halloween episode Vision? Because he was, he looked pretty.
He could have been, yeah.
Dang. All right. Well, we took basically all of like the god level characters off the board at this point. So now we have a bunch of random like alienish characters and like human characters on the board. I think I will then okay. So going with the thought process, like I'm looking at my roster with Thor and Captain Marvel, and I think that Hulk is a great character. But he also, I mean, in terms of the MCU, gets his butt handed to him like over and over and over again, depending on what version there is. And he also doesn't get along with, like, the more powerful he is, the less he gets along with other characters, which is a problem, I think.
That is a good point.
So I think, though, in that case, I will be taking the super soldier himself then. I will be taking Mr. Steve Rogers, Captain America. I think I would have taken Hulk, and if you want Hulk, he's all yours, but I think he just, especially because he's fought Thor twice, and Thor is on my team. So I think we need a leader. We got a captain already. but I'm going to be taking the real captain of the MCU, Mr. Steve Rogers, Captain America. That's my next pick.
Perfect.
And I'll be taking the Endgame version as well. With the I mean, we can give him the hammer. Maybe doesn't really matter. He's still Captain America. So
that's true. All right.
And Thor has the hammer anyways. Has a hammer, so like they can share if they want. So
that is true. All right. I think
you could always take Mantis, man. I'm telling you. You can always take Mantis.
Yeah, maybe I'll go with Mantis. She looks a little lonely down there. Okay. After giving it some thought, I think you've taken Steve Rogers. I am going to take the other mogul of the MCU, the man who started it all, who's fought alongside all of the Avengers, the one who accidentally created his own worst enemy in Ultron, and I'm going to go with Mr. Tony Stark.
Interesting.
I'm going to go with the Endgame version with his, I believe it's called Bleeding Edge armor.
Yeah, Mark 80? Mark something like that?
Mark something or other. But the one that comes decked out with the shields and the missiles and everything like that. Yeah.
All right. Good pick. So, luckily, the two leaders of the Civil War are not on the same team, because I think that would have been a disaster.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, let's see who we got left on the board. I'm thinking, then, that... Let's see. Well, okay, so there are a couple options now that I want to go for, and I'm really trying to take away my own personal bias of, like, how much I love the characters themselves and how powerful they are, because, again, we're just trying to beat each other up, so... has nothing to do with, their actual performances or anything. I'm going to go, actually, with a character that was very short-lived in the MCU, but has a power set that I think is actually very useful in a lot of different situations, especially on a battlefield. And so, rest in peace, Pietro Maximoff. I am actually going to be taking the brother of the Scarlet Witch, and I'm going to be taking Quicksilver. Obviously, from Age of Ultron. And that will be my pick. I'm going to take Quicksilver from Age of Ultron.
Dang it. I was going to take him next.
Were you thinking about that?
Yeah. Next, I'm going to go... Am I allowed to count the army that a character commands? Or just the characters themselves?
No, wait. I'm looking at the list. Oh, I see. No, you can't. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just the individual.
The individual.
I see where you're going with that. Nope, just the individual.
Okay. Well, out of the characters that are left, I think one of the most effective and most interesting, and one of my favorites, the king himself, Hunefafrisis. Black Panther.
Good accent.
Thank you.
Good accent.
People of Wakanda, please don't be offended. I'm sorry.
And, do you have a particular version you want?
I'll take the Infinity War version, I guess.
Yeah, that's a solid one.
Yeah.
He's one of those characters who kind of was pretty similar throughout, so that's a good move. All right, the board is clearing off. So just a quick recap for you guys at this point. I got Captain America, Thor, Quicksilver, and Captain Marvel. And who you got so far on your board?
I have Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Vision, Iron Man, and Black Panther.
Awesome. So those are two pretty powerful teams right now, and I think it'd be a good fight. But I am actually going to take... Well, so interestingly enough, one of the characters that gave Iron Man a lot of problems throughout the MCU, at least when they were on different sides, is maybe not the character that you would expect, but I think would be a potentially really big weapon for the Avengers, or at least my Avengers. And I'm going to take Ant-Man. I think Ant-Man gave Tony a lot of problems in Civil War, just like messing with his suit and all that sort of stuff. And then also you get the giant man capabilities as well. Now, granted, he gets tired, obviously, at a certain point, but you have that in your back pocket if you want it as well. Now, my only question that I'm thinking about is which version of Ant-Man do I want? And I probably think that, the Endgame Ant-Man didn't do a whole lot in terms of powers. He was just kind of there, like, in and out. So I'm thinking I'm going to take the Ant-Man and the Wasp version of Ant-Man. I think that's probably close to peak power of Scott Lang, at least at this point in the MCU. So that will be my pick. I'm going to take Scott Lang, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's my pick.
You absolute fool. Well,
Oh,
this
boy.
is... I think you're on the right track here, but
Oh boy.
you could have had the character that gives you the size capabilities, the suit capabilities, and, according to Hank Pym, also has wings and blasters. And I'm going to take Miss Hope Van Dyne from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Interesting. You know, I was considering that though, and I think maybe it's just our preferences. I would have taken the giant status over the wings. I think that's just like my preference. Although again, everyone might scream at me and tell me I'm wrong about that. But I would take like the maybe 10 minutes of Giant Man in a fight, maybe. We'll see how
Okay,
this ends up.
well, good luck waiting for the entire fight to take place while you're waiting for Giant Man to move his arm 10 feet to the left.
That is true. He is very slow. He is really slow. All right. Well, in that case, I'm looking at the board. In that case, sorry, Guardians, none of you have been picked yet, but we'll get to you. But I'm still gonna stay away from the Guardians for at least a couple more picks. I think, maybe one more pick, and I'm going to take. Look, so you took Iron Man, and Iron Man and all his technologies, but I gotta take an Iron Man myself. I gotta take somebody who has the suit as well, and I'm going to take War Machine. And again, my only thought into this is which version of the suit is the strongest. I think even though we didn't see it that much, that Endgame suit at the end of Endgame, like the big bulky one that he like pops out of in the middle of nowhere, when the portal scene is happening, looked pretty strong. Not gonna lie. So I mean, we haven't seen it in action, but it's an Iron Man suit. It looks pretty beefy, pretty bulky. So I'll be taking War Machine from Endgame. That is my next pick.
Excellent. Now, this might, depending on which version I choose, this could be an interesting pick. But with the recent TV series that we have seen, there is a character who we have come to know and love, but not necessarily trust. But I think, given the events of his TV series, he's learned to not only be the god of mischief, but learn to be the god of love.
Aww.
Himself. Loving himself. A different version of himself.
Ew.
But also, he just likes to beat people up. That's just what... I mean, we saw it with Sif, and like he just cut off her hair, and when he turned into a snake, when Thor was 8, and it was like, bah, it's me. So I think he'd be totally fine with just, coming at whoever was attacking him. So I'm going to go with Loki. Plus I get shape-shifting and telekinesis capabilities.
That is true. Now, which are you going to take, like a Ragnarok Infinity War Loki, or are you going to take the series Loki?
I am going to take the series Loki. He still has both those powers, and he's more well-versed in the timelines.
That's true. Yeah, Loki would have been one of my... It would have been on the list of my next picks as well, but dang, okay. So we still got some pretty good picks on the board. Like, everybody's got their own skills here. It's
Except
just a
Mantis.
matter of what... Yeah, well... I mean, okay, well, let's give credit to Mantis, though. She was pretty important in Infinity War until Star-Lord, Star-Lord happened.
Exactly.
So, Mantis might come off the board at some point. Here's an interesting pick. Well, okay, no, so I have a couple picks in mind, and I'm hoping you're not going to take the other one of the two next round. So if you do, I'm going to be very upset at you.
Okay.
But I am going to take the first of the two picks that I really want off the board for me, and that is going to be, I guess I'm just stockpiling captains, honestly, at this point, because I'm going to be taking the third captain on my team, and that is going to be Sam Wilson's Captain America. I think the wings, he's got the shield as well. I guess I have two shields with Steve and Sam, but he's also got the wings. He doesn't have the serum, but he has the wings, and I think that he's very capable. We saw it in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He was training. He's very very capable of fighting, and I will be taking Mr. Sam Wilson from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Excellent. And potentially from Captain America 4 as well, depending on
absolutely
when that is announced to be released. All right. Well, I am going to pick a character that could obliterate Sam, honestly. And that comes from one scene. And the reason I say that is from one scene in the first Guardians of the Galaxy where he shoves his twig-like fingers up your nostrils. Also, the only character besides Thor to be able to lift Stormbreaker, technically lift Stormbreaker. And I'll be taking everybody's favorite trait, Mr. Groot.
I'm Groot.
I am Groot. We are Groot.
Are you taking the adult version?
I will be taking the adult version.
All right. Yeah, that's a good pick as well. Poor Star-Lord is literally going to be picked last at this point because nobody trusts him anymore to do anything.
Nope.
Yeah. I also think it's kind of interesting. I honestly think the fact that Hulk is still on the board has really nothing to do with how powerful he is, and just he's going to kill your entire team on accident or something.
That is true.
Well, okay.
He's always angry.
So you didn't end up taking one of the second of my two picks, which is good because I think this is actually going to be a sneaky good one. I hope. This is a character who, when showcased in the movies, hasn't gotten a lot of time to shine, but honestly, thinking back to the scenes where this character is in, he's honestly been incredibly powerful for one reason alone, and that is his arrow. And I'm not talking about Hawkeye either. I'm going to take Yondu because I think Yondu's arrow and the fact that he can just whistle it in the air, and that entire scene in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 where he blows up that entire ship with his one arrow is pretty crazy. If he was just standing on a ledge somewhere, hiding out while everyone was fighting and just whizzing his arrow, he would probably take out a lot of people. So I'm going to be taking Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. That's my next pick.
That's actually a very good pick. And I'm kind of upset that you took it.
Yeah.
You took my pick. Okay. Next, I am going to go with another character that has the capability for murder.
Oh, good.
And it's not who you
Good to hear.
think. It's not who you think.
Oh, okay.
Because he's never used it.
I have a couple characters in mind. Oh, okay, well.
He's never used it, but he could. And not only is he capable of murder, but of electrocution, strangling, dismemberment. He's never used any of them, but he could, and that is the point. So I'm going to take Mr. Peter Parker using his Iron Spider suit.
Dang. Well, he has used instant kill, but
he has used instant kill in Endgame. That is true.
Which honestly, I mean, it was really cool in the movie, but it just turned out to be his legs stabbing everybody. So, and his eyes turned dark. But
yeah.
All right. Well, I've been avoiding Hulk like the plague, but it might be time to take him. Maybe. Okay. Well. No. Okay. Here. You know what? Then I'm changing my strategy up a little bit. I have an idea. Then I'm going to be taking a character. Not for their prowess on the battlefield. Not that they're, a lightweight or anything.
Just to boost team morale.
Well, no, not necessarily. And you're gonna see why. I'm gonna take what I'm gonna call a nuclear deterrent, and I'm gonna take Natasha Romanoff, and I think you know why, for the next couple of rounds, because if I have Natasha Romanoff and I honestly. She has the same powers throughout the entire MCU. She's really, agile and strong as a human being.
Poses.
And yeah, she does. She's a poser.
She's a poser. Total poser.
But so I'm gonna take the Natasha Romanoff from Age of Ultron, and I think you know where I'm going with that. So that is my next pick.
Okay. Well, now you've just eliminated one character for me.
I did.
Yep.
I did.
All right. Next, I'm going to go with the lone survivor of a remarkably powerful group of people, which makes her, in my opinion, the most powerful of that group of people. Not to mention, she has a flying Pegasus, and how epic is that? I'm going to take Valkyrie.
That's pretty epic.
And I will take the endgame version because that's where she flies her Pegasus.
She also has a really sick sword, too.
She does have a sick sword. She can slice, 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 slice.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think everybody knows who my next pick is going to be. I'm going to be taking Hulk. Thank you very much. And I guess to specify, I would have to take the Age of Ultron Hulk, because if I took the Avengers Hulk, I think he would kill everybody, so, like on my team. So I think I'll take the Age of Ultron Hulk, who I think, like I've been saying, and we've been talking, like they kind of nerfed him throughout the MCU a little bit.
Yeah. A bit.
But I still think he was pretty high on the power scale when Age of Ultron was going on. So I will be taking the Age of Ultron Bruce Banner Hulk.
Awesome. Actually, because I have Scarlet Witch and Vision, and other characters that use forms of energy, such as Doctor Strange and Loki, I think it would be to my advantage to take another character who can make good use of that energy. I don't know her exact power set. It hasn't been very clearly defined, but that only makes it to my advantage to define it how I want. So I'm taking Monica Rambeau from WandaVision, who can absorb, repurpose, and redirect various forms of energy.
That's fair. And I mean, again, this is why we're doing this, like picking them from very specific movies, because if she gets totally nerfed in Captain Marvel 2, then it's like it doesn't matter for the purpose of this exercise.
Yeah.
It's from WandaVision. All right, good pick. So I think we have 4 left on the board. No, we have 6 left on the 5, because I'm picking second, right? So we have 5 left on the board. And the poor Guardians are getting no love over here. The 5 that we... Oh, no. Is it 6? Oh, it is 6.
We have 4 Guardians left.
7. I can't count. We did the spreadsheet in such a way where it's not really organized at all. Yeah. I believe there are 7 on the board still. So we got Hawkeye, we got Bucky, Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and I believe Mantis.
Yep.
That's it, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we got those people chilling on the board. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to prioritize, because a lot of these people, really the reason that we don't take them is just because they're good at hand-to-hand combat or like, blaster fire, but they don't have many specialized skills. I do think a couple of them do, though. And I'm going to take, for that reason, I'm going to take Rocket Raccoon. And I think the reason is that, I mean, he's good with, obviously he loves his blasters, he loves taking people's prosthetics and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, going off of that, he's also actually pretty dang smart too. Like he is really good at engineering and like robotics and wiring things. And I think that could definitely work to our advantage at some point. Maybe he can buff up War Machine's suit or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I think I will be taking Rocket. I don't think he has a specific version that's any better than the others, so I'll take Guardians 1 Rocket. I don't think it matters that much. So yeah, I'll be taking Rocket. That's my next pick.
Okay, well you just ruled out another character for me, because if I pick Bucky, he's going to end up armless by the end of the battle.
That's true.
So I'm going to take another character who's good at hand-to-hand combat, and it's not Drax. It's Gamora.
Okay.
I think Gamora is the best option. She has another sword that goes slicey slice, and I think she and Valkyrie could really tear it up out there. Really tear it up. And I'm going to pick the... I don't think it really matters for her either. Guardians 2 version.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair. All right. Let's see who we got. Of course, Hawkeye's left on the board. Poor guy.
Well, I just don't want to hurt him because he has a family,
He does, but somebody's...
Kiddos.
But you know what, though? Maybe he doesn't have a family. And maybe that's going to be my next pick, because I'm picking Hawkeye from Endgame. So maybe he doesn't have a family,
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when you take away Hawkeye's family? He is mad. He is just upset and slicing fools in Japan, and he's just killing people. And he also was, he used the bow a few times in Endgame, though not that much. But he has that sharpshooting capability. He, just like slicey Gamora, he also has a pretty sick sword. So I actually think I will be taking Hawkeye. I don't think he... Sorry, Bucky fans, by the way. I know a lot of you are out there, but he's still on the board. But I will be taking Hawkeye from Endgame. That is my next pick.
That's actually a pretty good pick. All right, next.
Thank you.
Let's see. Next, we have, just to recap, we have Bucky, Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis still on the board.
Yep.
And I think we've been, crapping on her this entire time. But she does provide some useful assistance if, she's propelled up to somebody's head by Doctor Strange or something like that, who is also on my team.
You do have Doctor Strange.
Or Scarlet Witch, or someone can move her up there. And she can just put those fools to sleep.
Or even Loki, right? Loki can do that now, I think.
Oh, can he?
Like with the because remember maybe not this Loki, but the classic Loki did open up some portals in the void and get them out. So maybe your Loki could do that too.
Oh, then we could have a tag team. So I'm going to pick Mantis from Infinity War because that's where she demonstrates her ability.
Very good. All right, we got 3 picks left on the board, and this is basically my last pick because whatever CM picks the next round, I have to take the other one. So, look, I mean, I have a feeling I know who's going last. I think you do too, right? Looking at these 3, because, so we got Bucky, Star-Lord, and Drax. And look, I mean, no offense to that character who we all know who it is, but he really doesn't do anything other than, stab a couple people and be shirtless. So, so it's between the other 2 for me. And I think that while, like you mentioned before, I got Rocket on my team, it might be a liability risk for this dude. I also think that he actually possesses... Now, okay, here's the thing, though, actually. So here's what I want to ask, and I guess we're making up the rules right now. I know this is a hero tier list, or not a tier list, a hero mock draft. I would have let you take the villain Loki if you wanted him. Are you gonna let me take Winter Soldier Bucky, or does it have to be a good version of Bucky?
No, you can have any version of Bucky. You can even have Cap 1 Bucky if you want.
Oh, I don't know about that one. sorry, man. He just he was kind of taller than Steve for like 20 minutes, and then he wasn't.
Yeah.
So in that case, I will be taking the Winter Soldier version of Bucky from Captain America: Winter Soldier. I think that he is sort of just the mindless soldier. He's pretty good with a gun. Obviously, his arm is cool. And there is a chance that he ends up murdering everybody on my team because, I don't know, Zemo comes in and ruins everything. But at the same time, I think out of these 3, I think he would make the most sense. And also, I got both Sam and Steve on the team. So if there were ever a chance to get him out of that mind control, I think I got it. So we're going to take the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes.
All right. Now I am stuck choosing between the 2 characters who refuse to work with anyone.
Yep.
All right, so we have Star-Lord and we have Drax. But the dilemma here is one of them has blasters and one of them only has knives. But one of them can stand so completely still that he becomes invisible to the naked eye. And I think that's a really useful skill in battle. So I'm going to be taking Drax the Destroyer. Specifically the Infinity War version where he is standing so completely still that he becomes invisible.
I can't tell how serious you are right now. I really can't.
I am completely... Did he disappear in Infinity War? Because I didn't see him. Well, you
know what? At this point, between these 2 picks, no offense, Star-Lord, Chris Pratt's really funny, but you guys kind of don't... You kind of screw things up on the battlefield a lot, so I guess it didn't really matter that much. So then I'll be taking Star-Lord, and my only decision now is which version of him. I will not be taking the Infinity War version. Thank you very much. That would be a mistake. I would also not be taking the Endgame version because he would just be following Gamora everywhere on your team.
Yep, that's a good point.
And actually, I think then the safest pick for me to take would be the first Guardians Star-Lord, who is not so enamored with Gamora at that point, who is pretty, pretty adventurous, like a sort of indie kind of character, Indiana Jones, swashbuckling Ravager, who has a heart of gold, that kind of thing. So I think I'll be taking the first Guardians of the Galaxy version of Star-Lord. And with that, guys, those are our rankings. So I am going to be listing quickly my team for you guys to hear again, and then Mr. Monkey will be as well, and you guys can let us know in the comments, well, first of all, how wrong we were for some of the characters we picked, and then also, which team you think would win. I mean, obviously we're going to argue for our own team, so we can't decide this between ourselves, but you guys can let us know. And also, really quickly, if you guys want to see a villain version of this, because I think this was really fun. I really think this was a lot of fun to do. And if you guys want to see a villain version, we would be more than happy to do that as well. We probably will anyways, even if this video gets like 20 dislikes. So, take that for what you will. But yeah, so my team, going from, the top of the board to the bottom, we got Mr. Steve Rogers, Captain America. We have Infinity War Thor. We have Age of Ultron Hulk, Black Widow from Age of Ultron, Hawkeye / Ronin, I guess, from Endgame. Endgame War Machine. We got the Winter Soldier. We got Captain Falcon America. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord, Guardians of the Galaxy Rocket Raccoon, Quicksilver from Age of Ultron, Ant-Man from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Yondu from Guardians 2, and Captain Marvel from Endgame. That is my team, Team Sparkles. What do you got for us, Team Magic?
All right, well, that's a very good lineup. Sadly, you're going to be completely destroyed, because my lineup is Iron Man from Endgame, Gamora from Guardians 2, Drax from Infinity War, Groot from Guardians 1, Scarlet Witch from the end of WandaVision, Vision from Captain America Civil War, Wasp from Ant-Man and the Wasp, Black Panther from Infinity War, Spider-Man in his Iron Spider armor, Doctor Strange from Infinity War, Mantis from Infinity War, Valkyrie from Endgame, Loki in his new redeemed romantic timeline form, and Monica Rambeau from WandaVision.
All right, guys. So those were our respective teams. Again, I think that my team is definitely a superior one, but I'll respectfully disagree with you for now. So let us know in the comments, or maybe you guys will try this at home if you guys have a friend and you guys want to do this.